with all your instant speed interactions. Let's talk about that. Alright, so this is a Bant control deck that's doing a variety of things here. We just had a question in chat about Settle the Wreckage. I think while Mono Blue is the premier control, the aggro deck of the format, this card leaves a little bit to be desired. That being said, this card is very reasonable against decks like Sultai. And because we have things like Chemister's Insight and Warrant Warden and March of the Multitudes, having this in the mix with other instant speed things does not seem unreasonable for this deck. I do think this card's bad to the point where you board it out against Mono Blue, but I don't think it's so bad in the format as a whole that you just don't play it in a deck like this. We're not Esper, right? So we don't have like the opportunity to play something like Kaya's Wrath as another format sweeper. So some of this effect is very reasonable, I think. This deck is not too dissimilar from the Bant Flash decks that we've played a little bit of. It's a little bit more controlling slant with sweepers and stuff like that in the main. Yeah, no Clarion or Kaya's Wrath. Gotta take the take what you can get. No double blue and 4 lands probably means a mulligan. This hand has 4 lands, but has all of our colors in it, so sign me up. Not quite looking for a 5th. This will likely help me find one. Yeah, I think straight Simic, Nivik. It's either straight Simic or Teamer. They're pretty close to each other overall. Mr. Poop Cat with the Prime support. Thanks for shipping your Basil bucks this month. I appreciate it. I've not played Sultai Climb. The list looks pretty good on paper though. There's a lot of good magic cards in it. Probably not unreasonable. This might be a game where we just like play a Baby Krasis doo for Baby Krasis doo Baby Krasis doo Baby Krasis a 2/2 They don't give me something to absorb here. I'm probably gonna Crushing Canopy one of these Terramanders. I'm gonna let this keep hitting me. I'm just gonna pass with Absorb up. It's just 1 damage for now. Baby Krasis is a 2/2. Baby Krasis is a 2/2. Oh, it's funny because it's true. Ooh, Phoenix. That's kind of terrifying. That's real good against our control deck. Actually, I just make a 4/4 here, right? Just do it. Let's just like curve flying 4/4 into flying 4/4. Thunk. I like modal cards, chat. Modal cards are fun. Rude. Rude. Yikes. Here comes a bird. Down to 13. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Hopefully we bin something next turn and then draw a land so we can Krasis for 6, which would be ideal. Also wouldn't mind finding a Cleansing Nova so we can clean this board out. Yeah, so bin that, transform this. Perfect. Bigger than a Terramander. Post board, we do have to worry about Entrancing Melody, but game 1 we usually don't have to. The Pteramander gets answered by other things, whereas the Phoenix pretty much demands exile removal. Yeah, Krasis is real good. If they have a Phoenix in their hand, we're going to be in trouble here, because they can ditch it with Radical Idea and then smack us with it. Phoenix is definitely super good in matchups like this. If they attack with both, I'm going to eat the Pteramander. If they attack with just the Drake, I'm going to trade with the Drake. This is a Daddy Krasis. Daddy Krasis do 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 do. Daddy Krasis do 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 do. Oh, where is the dive down? Where is the dive down? Oh, where? My friend, I'm not gonna lie. I was not expecting that to work. I'm gonna go ahead and pass the turn here, just because I would prefer to not get attacked for 3 by a haste creature. I was wondering if we would get audience members to pick up the tune. Now we need a hairbrush altar for the dive down. Yep. Alright, we got an Azcanta activation here. We get an Azcanta activation. We get... I think I just take Seal away here. Negate's a good one. So they know about the Seal away. They don't know about the Negate.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. I think I go ahead and activate this so I can untap it with Teferi. Growth Spiral, Dawn of Hope. I don't think I'm at the Dawn of Hope portion of the game yet. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Alright, we are dead. We are dead to another removal spell. Or a dive down. If we don't die here though, we should be a favorite to win. One random off the top. One last shot. It's the chance to roll. Opportunity comes once in a match time. You better lose yourself in the magic the moment you will, but you never ever let it go. I would like to block here. I technically have one redraw and a counterspell with the Growth Spiral. Alright, so you're saying there's a chance. That's all I need. Take a chance on me. We're like a Krasis away from winning the game, basically. Krasis will drag us kicking and screaming into this game.
Let's skip to the good part.
I think I'd like to Chemister's Insight. Pick up a couple cards. Find a Krasis on this, we'll definitely cast it. So they have... do this and pass. It's the biggest Krasis we've cast. I don't actually know if I ever can answer that question. We could find an Absorb here. Yep. You have a bunch of Phoenixes left in their deck still, right? If they ditch 2 Phoenixes here, they could kill us. Yeah, maximum velocity is definitely in our future. Oh, I could have tapped my lands better and growth spiraled that turn too. Alright, well now that I've got double absorb, we're just gonna go ahead and cash this in.
Slow down.
You need to slow down. I think double absorb is probably the game. We do need a way to kill them at some point, but for now this seems okay. Wonder why no one else has tried Bant control. Obviously we're only in our first game, but the collection of cards we're playing seems pretty reasonable. I mean, if they hit a Niv in the main deck, I've got Cleansing Nova, right? It's like we're kind of covered on that front. I cast Insight from my hand instead of the yard, because the Insight in my hand is always going to be an Insight, whereas the card that I'm discarding to the Insight from the graveyard could be something else. Yes. Krasis' revelation, yep. Alright, are you aware that there's a warrant out for your arrest, Mr. Phoenix? Control with ways to win, you're a monster. I basically am. What does a Hoogle monster emote look like? I didn't want to settle because I wanted to hold up absorb. I didn't want to get spell pierced.
Let's skip to the good part.
All my Krasis are on the bottom of my deck. I probably need a way to shuffle, huh? Are we heading towards Teferi alt winning this game? I think we're heading towards Teferi alt winning this game. Oh no, there's been a terrible wreck. Alright, they understand what's going on. This deck probably isn't very efficient for laddering with, huh? Probably not a terribly efficient ladder deck. It's probably a bad March matchup. It's definitely an Ixalan's binding matchup. It's a Cleansing Nova matchup. I don't think so. Warrant Warden seems okay. Negate's a little slow. Just play more cards that interact with their creatures. Only having 2 seal aways feels a little bit bad here, but I think Baffling End's better in a lot of spots, just a little bit more proactive. But it's definitely not good here. Nova for Niv is probably reasonable. I don't know, I've got 2 Canopies and 2 Novas. Do I really need the 3rd Nova? Bring in Surgical and time me out. Okay, let's do this. It might be wrong to cut Chemister's Insight because there's a chance my opponent turns into more of a control deck post-board, so we need to grind against them. bad. The Jeskai Weenies deck was awesome. It's super powerful. Heroic Reinforcements is still a fantastic card. Maybe Baffling End is good enough. Did we see Enigma Drake out of them? We didn't see Enigma Drake, right? If we see Enigma Drake this game, I might board. If we see Enigma Drake, I'm gonna bring Baffling End in, but if we don't see Enigma Drake, it's probably right to it. They have to cut something, right? Wayworn Cypress, thanks for checking out the sponsor. I appreciate that. Hope you enjoy your toothbrush. Be sure to drop me a message here on Twitch. Let me know which deck you'd like to bump up in the queue. Electromancer. Interesting. Okay. Huh. Huh. I think I'm gonna play Baby Krasis 2-2. He is a 2-2. The 97% means I'm in the top 97 or the top 3% of players. If your record on Magic Arena gets lower than if you fall out of the top 1,000, you get a percentage instead of a number.
Sorry I'm late. Hurry!
Alright. They have Fire Mines Research, but I've got Teferi. Yeah, Fire Mines Research looks interesting. I've got Crushing Canopies to kill that with, and I've also got Teferis that can tuck it before it gets too scary. I think there's too many good ways to interact with enchantments in the format right now for this to be terribly good, but it's definitely interesting. Too many Mortifies and Crushing Canopies. Hey, Distrominator, thank you for the tier 2 resub and for the 10 months of that. Welcome back. Hope you're having a good one. We're still pretty far off of this doing anything meaningful. I'm gonna get to Growth Spiral here. Teferi untapped 2 lands Growth Spiral feels real good. I assume we're gonna see. Wow, do they not have another spell for Phoenix? Wow, that's good for us. Do we think they left in...
I'm not ready for this quite.
Do we think they left in Lava Coil? I think I just hold this up as a Warrant as opposed to using it as a Warden. I like tucking here. If they don't induce a Settle the Wreckage here, we can use Memorial to Genius to draw 2 cards. Alright, there's a 4th land. Putting ourselves down a land's not too big of a deal because we're still at 7 and we still have much more mana than they do at this point. Speaking of...
Keep up the pace.
Okay, that's a Crushing Canopy. I'm gonna make a 4/4. Feel like we're in a pretty solid spot here. Sure. My goal is to make Spell Pierce not be a card against me this game. Yeah, I think there's a good chance they boarded out coils. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. So this can't do anything yet. We're drawing a lot of lands, but that just means our next Krasis will be great. I have to discard a card, so unlucky. Sure. Do I want to kill this with Canopy? I think I do.
Hold that thought.
Absorb's a good hit because it does mean that I'll have a way to protect my Settle the Wreckage when eventually we fight over things. What control decks do I like this season? I'm a pretty big fan of Jeskai control still. You can find my preferred build of that on my website. I've not been impressed with Esper. Esper's lack of closing power I find incredibly frustrating and tedious. And obviously Esper's good, like people are winning lots of matches with it, but I personally am just not a fan of what it's doing. There's a warrant out for your arrest, sir. This is basically a time walk. And one of the things you need to feel that feels medium is that while it does kind of feel bad that they get to redraw their threat right away the following turn, it's important to remember that Warrant is a 1-for-1. The fact that they have to redraw that card means it's not card disadvantage. Supposed to absorb that. Do they make the same play this turn? We're gonna run it back. Land. Yeah, I think I should have absorbed the other Terramander there. That's probably wrong. Hopefully we just draw a giant crit. We draw our second Krasis next turn, so it doesn't matter.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. So I'm not gonna do this. I'm just gonna go ahead and chump block. This turn they'll attack. I'll run the block back again. They'll pump. My thing will die, and then we'll untap and Cleansing Nova. So I really don't care if they put. I want them to put more creatures into play this turn because I'm planning to Cleansing Nova next turn. Teferi's getting closer and closer to his ult. Yeah, that's fine. Don't care.
Hold that thought.
Hold that thought. So Teferi is unfortunately not going to ult next turn because he is going to take one from Niv Mizzet here, but that's fine. It's really not that big of a deal. More Niv Mizzets are like the only way to win this game. Even if they have more, we might still be okay. I like their use of Spell Pierce here. This card's not doing anything. They might as well draw a card and deal a damage with it.
Stop that now.
Stop that now. Oh, Teferi. Absorb. Absorb into myself.
Hurry.
Hurry. Come seal away. Come seal away. Come seal away with me. Alright, we've entered the double Azcanta portion of the game now. which is also known as the end of the game for those of you who are not familiar. Oh.
Let's skip to the good part.
Let's skip to the good part. I really just want a Teferi emblem. I want a Krasis while I have a Teferi emblem out. Is that asking so much, chat? Is it asking too much to Krasis while I have a Teferi emblem out? Yeah, we just put 2 of our 3 other Krasis on the bottom. No life! Thank you for the 7 months in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Well, if the rest of the day keeps going this good, we have a good contender for the deck of the day. Yeah, our deck's small enough that we're gonna get back to those pretty soon. So even if they put 3 Phoenixes into play here, those Phoenixes are not gonna connect with Teferi because of Seal Away, Crushing Canopy. And then Teferi's gonna ultimate, and then we're gonna play another Teferi. Yeah, you can find my climb list and a bunch of variations of it in my article. Come on. Come on. Come on. I like the ignore Teferi attack beeline. They know about one of the seal aways, right? Like that game was over a long time ago. Long time ago, the game had ended because Teferi drew his 3rd card. Do 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 do. How many lands are in this deck? I'm gonna keep this on the draw. Which do I recommend? I'm a big fan of the Teamer build, as well as the just straight blue-green build. Sometimes your hand is caught in the cookie jar, chat. Sometimes your hand gets caught in the cookie jar. It's okay. It's okay. Keep calm and carry on. Do 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 do. Not 100%. Not 100% that they're playing mono blue, but pretty sure they're playing mono blue. This is a trap, right? This is a trap. Needs to draw lands and spells. It has a bunch of redraws. Listen, the last speculative hand we kept really paid off, chat. Hey, what's going on, Dylan? Thank you for the 4 months there. I appreciate the third of a year. This hand could be anything, chat. We don't really know. We don't really know. I've been here long enough to know we keep hands like these. Yeah, against an aggro deck, I don't always keep hands like this. I don't always keep hands like this against aggro. Oh, sweet, sweet release of land drops, chat. Sweet, sweet release of land drops. We're actually, like, incredibly screwed at the moment, right? Got a whole lot of nothing going on. Do 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 do. Start popping off some of the old interaction next turn. Get to sing the Seal Away song with the Siren Storm Tamer in mind. Come seal away, come seal away, come seal away with me. Do 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 do. All right, we're not drawing lands, but the spells we're drawing are like pretty meaningful, which is nice. All right, so you're saying there's a chance. That's all you could really ask for, Chet. All you could ask for is a fair shake. Take a chance on me. Do 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 do. Getting that spell pierce while I'm holding multiple 5-mana spells is just chef's kiss. Just exactly everything we want in life is that card getting spell pierced. Glorious, glorious land drops. Alright, think I'm supposed to play around Spell Pierce here. Maybe. Nah, I'm gonna jam into it. I'm gonna jam in here. I'm gonna jam the Teferi, hope this gets countered, and then ideally the Cleansing Nova is gonna resolve next turn. Would be the hope. Yeah, this getting Wizard's Retorted is ideal for us, I think. And then hopefully they could, if they fart one of these and hit me for 7, that would be great. They did not fart there, which doesn't bode well for us. I guess that means I play the Krasis. Because the Krasis means I don't die next turn, and it probably draws me a land to play around to Spell Pierce. And if they have like a Wizard Report, they're probably countering this. Ooh, double Warrant's actually real good here. So hopefully they fart this, smash, we block, we take 6, then we untap and Cleansing Nova. If they attack with everything, I'm going to block the 1/1. think I just go for this. Alright, they need another counter spell to stop the Warrant here. They got it. Yep. Dive down is a counter spell. Dive down is a counter spell for all effective purposes. All intents and purposes. Yep. I think I'm happy with the decisions I made there. The only mediocre decisions we made that game, I think, were the hands that we kept. Definitely kept kind of mediocre hands both games. Something to reflect on. I think I'm happy with the way I sequenced to potentially get counter spells out. I think we waited till like the last possible second to play the Cleansing Nova. You know, when Mono Blue hits its stuff, it's very difficult to interact with. And, like, this type of matchup is, like, one that's good for Mono Blue, right? I would encourage you to read Warrant. Awkward mana is awkward. Run off some lands here, we could be okay. I don't really read much these days. When I did read during my adolescent years, I preferred fiction. Life is pretty depressing. I don't want to read about reality. Yeah, I think if we had a land there, we might have been okay. We could have gone, like, land into Chemister's Insight and pass out. Nah, I don't really listen to any podcasts. What is it? I watch John Oliver when he's in season. I usually watch a little bit of Stephen Colbert while I'm wrapping things up. And I'm putting my videos together. Who else do we watch? I'm watching some of Philip DeFranco's stuff recently. He seems to do pretty good stuff. What else do I want to trim here? Probably just 2 absorbs. Sure. Yeah, this is like baby Krasis is so good in this matchup. Just like having a 2/2 flyer for 4 that replaces itself is just like super reasonable. And Baffling End's like just a decent cheap removal spell. If they play a 1-drop on 1, I'll probably Baffling End it. I guess Krasis blocks this. I have a second Baffling End. Let's just be aggressive. Sure. Yeah, I'm definitely just gonna take this one off the table. Yeah, I agree. I haven't independently researched all of the things that DeFranco has done, but I feel like he does a good job of like researching the things that his show does. And he's also very good about telling you when he's super biased about things. Just like, if you've watched me before, you know I tend to feel this way. It's like, that's good to know. Because, like, you know, on those issues, you should do more research past what he says. Yeah, we lost enough that we no longer have a number. We're just a percentage. So if you lose and you fall out of the top 1,000, you turn into a percentage, not a number. I'm a free. They discarded a 1-drop rather than play it. I think I'm just looking for lands here. If we can get to a 2/2, a 4/4 one of these, I'll be in a pretty happy spot. Perfect. Alright. Mama Krasis, she's bigger than 2/2. She's not a 2/2. Why not Sphinx? Because I don't want to get spell pierced. The Warden is here. This card seems really good in this matchup too. I should have attacked first here, because now that they saw a Warden, they're thinking about it. I mean, if I'd have attacked with both, they'd probably snap block this. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of mileage out of the Krasis emote for the next 2 years. Excuse me, year and a half or so. Whenever this thing rotates. Yeah, you can warrant your own Krasis. That is in fact a legal play. Krasis is super flexible. Just the fact that like playing it as a 2/2 on 4 is like reasonable a lot of the time makes it scale really well. Are you aware that there's a warrant out for your arrest, Mr. Jin? Oh, it tramples. Gosh, this card is good with Krasis. I always forget that this card is flample. Why does it flample, chat? Why does it flample? Does anybody know why it flamples? The tentacles reach around. Love the Krasis. The Krasis loves you. Love the Krasis. Look at that. Look at that. Reasonable hand on the draw. Let's do it. Let's do it. No 1-drop deal. What does a flample emote look like? So like, again, there's lots of sweet emote ideas. The problem is figuring out what they look like in a 28 by 28 pixel. Like, we were gonna do a pocket sand emote, but like sand just doesn't translate. We have 2 more emote slots that I haven't used yet, so. Alright, sweet. So we're gonna get to Warrant this year. They'll save it, then we'll untap and Baffling End it. And like anytime a Curious Obsession only draws 1 card is huge. Hey, Arcasy with the sub gift, thank you for that. So we basically got to 1 for 1 a Curious Obsession, which is a great exchange for us here. If we draw an untapped land next turn and get to have Chemister's Insight up, we'll be in an absurd spot. Land, please. 26 land deck sucks sometimes. Oh. Yep. Our 26 land deck with 4 cantrips and search for Azcanta. Maybe I'm supposed to just try and warrant the Tempest Shin this turn and then untap and Baffling End the following turn. Could maybe be the line. I assume we're dead here. There's no way they go in here without protection. Yep. So, if we untap and draw another Baffling End and they don't have protection, we have a chance here, but likely dead. A little late. I always can't help but chuckle when, like, you're playing a game and, like, you're land screwed, and then people are like, we really need more lands in this deck, huh? And you flood out, and people are like, we need to cut some lands, huh? Just like, sometimes variance happens, that's okay. Like, the deck has 26 lands, but you notice I mentioned things like Search for Azcanta and Growth Spiral in it. Like, those cards help you see more cards every game. So, like, your odds of hitting your 4th land on time just, like, happens, you know? Sometimes your 30 land deck doesn't have 4 lands in 4 turns. And, like, separating yourself from those pieces of anecdotal evidence are, like, really important to being able to make, like, moderately objective decisions. Teamer Climate's great. I agree. Just the right amount. Just tap it in. Tap, tap, tap it in. Every time we screw, rage at a land. Every time we flood, rage, cut a land. It's the perfect system. Ooh, are we playing against Nexus? I actually kind of want to play against Nexus with this deck to see how the matchup feels. Not Nexus, got it. So, my sequencing here is small, but I shocked in the Temple Garden on 2 here, because shocking in the Temple Garden to play my search for Azcanta, I'm going to keep that for later, doesn't telegraph the part that I have a counterspell. Whereas if I would have played an island and then shocked in Temple Garden this turn, it would have said to my opponent, oh, they shocked in, so they're probably holding up a 3-mana card. So, like, they could read the room and, like, assume I have an Absorb here, but it's slightly less obvious that I have an Absorb because of the way in which I sequence my lands. Come on. Come on, attack. Rats. I'm just gonna go ahead and absorb this. Looking for a land. That's pretty good. Great. Ready for some battle cruiser magic? Why not seal the Druid? Because I want to cast Chemister's Insight this turn so I get my Teferi going. I take the opportunity to gas up. I don't care about them having 3 mana, chat. I don't care about them having 3 mana. It's really not that big of a deal. The Krasis ultimately doesn't matter. I've got a ton of removal spells. I'd much rather use my spot removal spells on things that are larger and more impactful, and then eventually I'm going to draw something like a Cleansing Nova that's going to clear away the Incubation Druid without actually spending a full card on it. Alright, do you have a Spell Pierce? Oh, they're playing Sultai, huh? Interesting. You have a counterspell here? Okay, so my opponent's sequencing here is pretty bad. You can wait until Seal Away targets your thing and then respond to it. So they wanted the Hydroid Krasis in their graveyard instead of exiled, so that way they can get it back with whatever it's called, obviously. So, like, they did that so they could find it back, everyone. But they forgot to wait to do it until my Seal Away targeted it, which is definitely a mistake. Mods, please time out everyone in chat, including subs saying Mythic LOL. Thank you. As someone who plays a lot of Magic and makes mistakes pretty constantly while playing, don't make fun of my opponent. Mistakes happen. You've all misclicked. You've all made dumb errors. There's no need to lay into my opponent for making a mistake. It's okay to say why it's a mistake. It's okay to say this is a mistake and this is why it's a mistake, but don't be rude about it. I think this March and this Dawn of Hope are probably silly. I think I probably just want the 4th Krasis in my main deck. I want the extra Cleansing Nova. Do I want Settle the Wreckage in this matchup? I probably want Settle the Wreckage in this matchup, huh? Is Ixalan's Binding good in this matchup? This card's probably great here, huh? Like, locking them out of casting Krasis, and if they kill it, the Krasis goes to their graveyard. Locking them off of Vivian also seems reasonable. Maybe four Baffling Ends is too many. Warrant Warden might only be okay in this matchup since they have so many mana creatures. I'm gonna trim 2 of those. The 4/4 flyer isn't super relevant here. Someone asked about Warrant Warden. I've been pretty happy with Warrant Warden. It's nice to have a 2 mana instant speed removal spell for after you plus your Teferi. It's one of the reasons why Warrant feels really reasonable in this deck. Yeah, Sleep's very good in all of the Explore deck mirrors. Very, very good. To know when I board them in. In this deck, and in general, I think you only board in cards like Negate against other dedicated control decks, as well as combo decks like Nexus of Fate. I don't think they come in matches like this that are mid-range decks. I responded to the duress with the Growth Spiral because I think there's a chance they take the Growth Spiral away from me, and I'd really prefer that didn't happen. Click my heater back on. My feet are getting cold. My basement is like infinitely colder than the rest of my house, so rather than run my furnace all day, I have a small space heater in here that I click on and off. Alright, well, hopefully we find our second Cleansing Nova here. Or a Teferi. Teferi would also be okay. The best combo deck in Modern? I don't know. What do you consider a combo deck? Do you consider Temur Phoenix a combo deck? Because I think Temur Phoenix is real good. Nope, my vents are definitely open. My basement also has 9-foot ceilings in it, though, which probably doesn't help the whole keeping it warm. Especially in the region where my feet are. Ha! Nice duress.
Beasts much more alive. Draw and fire.
X is 4. I'll try the Civic Climb deck you showed a few days ago. You mentioned that you would have cast the threat side if you had a red splash. I'm gonna try. Jack, if you read my article on Cool Stuff Inc. this week, you can find a teamer version of that deck that has red sources for Thrash Threat. Yeah, Binding's gonna lock them off of Vivian, which could be very good for us. Actually, I could Binding them off of their Krasis, and then my Krasis can kill their Vivian, right? That's the line? They're gonna Krasis for 5, and then I'll Binding their Krasis, and then kill their Vivian. That's interesting. Are they just getting aggressive here? What's the deal? Weird. I guess they're just ramping up for a bigger Krasis next turn. That makes sense. Alright, I'm just gonna lock them off of there. Vivian here. Maybe this is not good because I'm just gonna be dead on board. Maybe I'm supposed to play Teferi and start drawing cards. Just to like try. I really need a Cleansing Nova, right? Or way to like take some of these threats out of play. That's really unfortunate. Feigning Seal Away doesn't do anything. If I had Seal Away, I would have used it on the Incubation Druid while they were tapped out. So, don't spend energy thinking about bluffs that don't actually matter. That's fine. We flooded out a little bit here. That's why there's a game 3 chat. Next game on the plate. Wonder if Bronzedon means I don't want the Ixalan's Bindings. Can definitely see that being the case. Cut the Bindings, put the Settle the Wreckages back in. Although Settle's pretty bad in the face of Hydroid Krasis. Maybe I just want a couple of Disdainful Strokes. I could see that. I still have Settle in my deck. Yeah, maybe I just want Stroke and something else. Maybe I do want the Seal Aways. That seems fine. Flood it out. Time to cut a land. Get it right on out of here. I think Canopy, just as a way to kill Krasis, is a little bit narrow. I think I'd rather have, like, Baffling Ends and Seal Aways. Canopy only comes in if they also have other things that it hits. I think I'm going to cut the March and the Dawn of Hope and probably shuffle around some other win conditions, like hit the 4th Krasis in the main, and then maybe what are other win conditions we can play in this archetype? What are good Bant colored win conditions? Like pretty reasonable. In for 4th land. Angel of Grace. Maybe we just try a couple of Frilled Mystic. We could just try a couple of Frilled Mystic, huh? That's like a win condition that's also a counterspell. Sometimes in aggressive decks I cut lands on the draw. I don't know. I'm a pretty big proponent of you're gonna lose way more games to having too many land or having not enough lands than to having too many. What Sphinx are we talking about? The Sphinx, the Lawbringer? That card's not very good. Why is Frilled Mystic better in the sideboard? What logic and reasoning are we using to arrive at that conclusion? That's probably fine. I guess the fact that they cut Hostage Shaker makes this a worse keep. That's rude. Yeah, Warden's a win condition. I'm asking for other win conditions. I'm not cutting this card. I'm just asking for other win conditions. I mean, the Bant Flash deck is fine. There's nothing wrong with playing something that's close to that Talrand. Beg, borrow, steal. There's no reason to, like, skip playing cards that are good. Like, play more good Magic cards, you win more games. I don't know why people aren't playing Jeskai Control. I'm not a fan of Esper. I think people, I take that back. I think people aren't playing Jeskai Control because the people that like to play control decks hate winning the game. They'd rather sit there and spend infinite time not winning. Alright, kill me with a counterspell. God bless. Alright, so they're going to kill Azcanta, and then hopefully I'm going to draw an untapped land and play Hydroid Krasis.
Balance comes.
I don't think Jeskai really wants to play Ionize. Ionize isn't a particularly good control card. We're probably dead here at this point. I wonder, not having the bindings in my deck was probably wrong, even with the what's it called? Alright, hoping to find a land this turn so we can play this Krasis out.
No one knows the wilds like I do.
Hopefully they just play a Krasis out as a blocker and then we can Baffling End to kill Vivian, but I think we're pretty far behind at this point. Oh, they can just hostage take her back up, right? Yeah. I think we're dead. Did Deckmaster come alive again? Yeah. Let's rework what we've got here a little bit. The original deck submission for this had the stipulation that they wanted Bant control with March and Dawn, but we've played enough games at this point. There's too much mono blue and aggro, and like these cards are hard to get going against control. Like the enchantments just aren't resilient win conditions anymore, so you can't really lean into them and rely on them anymore. I think I'm gonna cut those. I'm gonna bring this other Hydroid Krasis in. Is Angel of Grace just the droid I'm looking for as far as other win conditions are concerned? It is just another flying threat, and flying threats are pretty good. I don't really hate that. This card's pretty good with Settle the Wreckage, too. I don't want a Mortal Sun in my Teferi Hero of Dominaria deck. That does not sound great. I felt like I wanted cards that were better against Sultai as well, and Angel of Grace is definitely better against Sultai than Lyra. Like, tapping out for your Lyra against Sultai, and then, like, having them play their Vivian feels really bad, whereas, like, holding up Angel of Grace, and then, like, having them tap out for Vivian, and then, like, playing your thing and attacking their Vivian feels real good. Alright, double Cleansing Nova against the double 1-drop start. We're on the draw though, so this might be too slow. Hopefully we can find a Seal Away or a Warrant to buy us a little bit of time. The Cleansing Nova is going to be very good if we live to get there. Yikes, that's a big if. Alright. Well. Alright. Am I dead? 6, 10. I'm going to 1. I'm going to 1. Right? Did I count this wrong? This is 9. That's 14, right? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Just. Bye, friends. Bye, friends. That's some good stuff. Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, the pride. The pride cometh before the fall, chat. The pride, she cometh before the fall. I thought they were mono green. I was like, this is great. They don't have any reach. They don't have any haste. We're totally gonna stabilize. And then they smacked us upside the head. And then they smacked us. Our spells were thoroughly broken, chat. Our spells were thoroughly broken. Yikes. My face! I like my face! Why you have to be so mean to my face? So I was so psyched we like hit the growth spiral for bottoming that. It was like ready to go. Oh, you know what? I should lead on this because if I draw Island, I could turn to growth spiral. That was the wrong land to play. Hey, Airwave, thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I think Biogenic Ooze just isn't a particularly good control card. I think it's like fine in mid-range decks that are like looking to come up the board, but like our deck doesn't have that many creatures in it, so like playing the Ooze and then like having it die is like not ideal. Ooze is like 5 mana, your opponent discards a shock and you're left with a 2/2. Like it's really, really rough on tempo. No, you can't lose out of Mythic. You turn into a percentage point though, like we do. When you fall out of the top 1,000, you can turn into a percentage point. Gosh, these absorbs of these Settle the Wreckage are great. Face! Why do you hate my face? Playing a 3/3 here probably wasn't even very good. The Spellbreaker just, like, gives it the business. Having to play, like, Baffling End and Seal Away as your cheap removal in a deck like this feels real awkward. Yeah, select an X that you don't have enough mana to pay and you can cancel out of Krasis casting. You know what? I should have jumped this. That was my out. We're gonna lose to a haste creature. I should have jumped the 5 here. I realized as soon as I clicked past it, I was like, my out's Cleansing Nova here, and now I'm just dead to any haste threat. Yeah, if I was at 8 here, we probably have a pretty good chance to get back in this game. The 3 damage is irrelevant. If I was at 8 here, yeah, if I was at 8, we'd go to 3 and then I'd untap and play a Giant Krasis. Let's try one more with this before we rate it off, but I think your answers probably just aren't good enough. You need a Lava Coil, you need a Cast Down. You need some more efficient way to end their creatures. Warrant and Seal Away just not quite good enough. Yeah, I think the deck our opponent was playing, like, lined up uniquely well into what we're playing, but I definitely didn't give myself the best possible chance to win. It's weird, like, this is why I prefer people, like, are descriptive and, like, tell me things. If someone just got timed out for saying Simic Nexus won't be fun for us, whereas, like, when my opponent started playing Simic Nexus cards, I was like, oh, this matchup's going to be really reasonable for us, because we have a bunch of counter spells and ways to interact with their enchantments. So, I feel like, of all the things that are going on in this format, this matchup seems like we have good tools for it, but they didn't tell me why they thought it was bad, so I can't really engage with them about it. Hey, Lou Mason, thanks for the 7-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. There's no Vanifer decks in the queue. That can't be right. Can we get whichever is the sweetest Prime Speaker deck you've played back in the queue? Yeah, definitely Teamer Swift, and I'll get that at after we're done today. Thanks for the support. You can search for decks that I've played in the past on my YouTube channel. You can also find a list of them on my website. Stream Decker also works. The old 5th land Hinterland Harbor still coming at the play tapped. Maybe I should have jammed Angel of Grace there. Opinion on Sultai teachings in Modern. Sounds incredibly clunky and inefficient in a format that's about brutal efficiency. So I'm playing Teferi before I play my land for the turn, because if Teferi resolves like he did, I want to shock this in, and if he didn't resolve, I would put it into play tapped. Why did he resolve the 5th land problem?
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I think that's fine. I think that's fine. Maybe I'm just supposed to counter that. I guess I could tuck it in. Let's just tuck it in.
Not so fast.
I'm gonna put this into play tapped. Have double absorb up here. Maybe I'm supposed to play an untapped land there so I can Chemister's Insight plus do this.
Let's skip to the good part.
Do I play a Search of my own? Yeah, I have Teferi untapping my lands, right? So might as well play Search of my own. Yeah, at their end of turn, I think we're on the Angel plan since I have 8 mana now. Nexus of Fate. I don't think I really care if they take 2 turns in a row, right? I think I just let this happen. I think I'm reserving my counter spells. Like, it's not like they have Search for Azcanta going or a Planeswalker. So, like, I don't think I really care about this. So, like, this is my end of turn. So the next 2 turns are going to be theirs. But I have 2 absorbs up, so I don't really care. Their engine pieces like Wilderness Reclamation and things that draw them cards are the things I want to stop. In general, I prefer if people ask before they take my content and make their own out of it. That just seems like the courteous thing to do. I've never told anyone who's asked to use my content in some of their stuff, no, they couldn't. If they have a Nexus here, they could kind of get going. And they're going to get to draw 2 cards here and then maybe go off. Yeah, Channel Fireball asked me for my permission initially. I told them that it was fine. Well, the reason why my VODs are sub-only is because I prefer, if people are watching my replays, I push them to my YouTube channel. So that way I can have more presence in more areas. I think I just pass here. I definitely need to start killing them at this point. There's another Reclamation on top of their deck here. Maybe this is wrong of me to pick this fight. Yeah, we might not have enough counter spells in our main deck, and we didn't have much of a clock this game. So it's definitely going to depend on. They have this going as far as card advantage is concerned. If that's enough, we might be in trouble. Like, I drew a lot of my counter spells this game. Definitely need to like get things like Warrant out of my deck and get like strokes and negates in, and more ways to deal with their enchantments. This is 4, 8, 11. So this kills them in 2 turns. Depends on how lucky they get from here. Oh, I guess if they miss this turn, I get to Cleansing Nova their Wilderness Reclamations. So if they don't go off here, I can Cleansing Nova and take the Reclamations off the table. It's lethal with the 13 months. Thank you very much and welcome back. I appreciate it. All right. think we're quite dead yet. If they, with the search for Azcanta, we'll be dead if they, so if they take another turn here, I will concede. But if they pass the turn to us, the Cleansing Nova means we're still in this. So, we'll be done when we're done, but if they break on Nexus here, we have a shot. If they break on Nexus here, I think we're actually ahead. Am I dead? Look at that, they bricked. And we drew Absorb. Alright. Activate Hidden Mode. That's all of their Nexuses, right? Are the Reclamations? Almost. No, they played the one from their hand, so that's 1, 2, 3. There's still one in their deck. We're through 3 of them. We could still die here. They just don't get multiple Azcanta activations per turn. If this resolves, I'm gonna tuck this Azcanta in. I just want them to not flip it.
This isn't a fight you can win.
This isn't a fight you can win. So they only have 14 in play, and I'm at 17. It's been a good game of Magic. Yep. Yep. That card's not very good in this matchup. It's definitely good there. Whew. This card, also not very good in this matchup, but kind of okay on this board. I like them drawing the Azcanta before their deck shuffles here. Bye, friends. My angel does have text as well. Yep.
Keep up the pace.
Keep up the pace. Looking for another Teferi to tuck this in. If I do this, I can still play Teferi. We're not really flooded. We've just drawn a lot of our deck. I think there was a turn where I missed making a 4/4 that probably would have mattered here. Uh-oh. Audio distortion. These people are great. Buy their stuff. These people also great. Buy their stuff. Back to Magic Arena. Warranted our Krasis in response to the fog. I don't think so. I think I should have Wardened earlier to try and make my clock faster. I'm glad the client reconnects real easily. Yep. I believe I'm out of counter spells. Let's just double check. fought through a lot here. Thank you, Kenzie. I appreciate it. They have 12 cards in their deck. Do they have a way to actually kill me in there? I guess they're only through one Krasis. Yeah, their Krasis just ends up killing me, right? Because, like, they always have at least 4 cards in their deck, right? Because there's always going to be 4 copies of Nexus. So, like, they're just going to have another Krasis, right? Like, I get to do this, but they just get to play another Krasis. Great. That one's gone. 6 cards left. This was a fun game of Magic. This game was like really awesome. There was, I don't know what y'all are looking for if you didn't find the back and forth in that game interesting. Like, what are you, could you like enlighten me as like what you consider a good game of Magic if like the absurd back and forth that just happened there, like, it was like really good. Like we lost, but I think like it was still a great game, right? Are you not entertained? Alright, so do I keep Cleansing Nova in for its hidden mode here? Probably not. Probably not. We have Binding and Crushing Canopy and Disdainful Stroke and Negate, and Carnage Tyrant is a tough to answer threat. I think this seems good. If I hadn't swung, could they have won? Yeah, they probably have like a blink or something in their deck. Usually they play a few copies of that card. Sure. So if I play Memorial to Genius on 1, I actually can't Growth Spiral on 2 because these would come into play tapped. So we'll Fountain on 1, Green Source on 2, put the Memorial into play off the Growth Spiral. I'm just supposed to baby Krasis there. Just like put a 2/2 into play while they can't Wilderness Reclamation me. I think that might have been the case. Alright, I'm gonna play a 3/3. Just like hope to draw some other spells here. This gives them a window to stick Reclamation, but I've got 4 ways to take Reclamation off the table, so I think that's fine. Yep. I think I'm gonna go ahead and crack my Memorial here. God bless you, Disdainful Stroke. I have Negate here. think we could die this turn. Well, there's Reclamation's really good when your opponent's not pressuring you. Alright, we're done. It's been a tough day. From top 100 mythic down here to the 93rd percentile. As we were like playing this deck some more, we were like kind of making changes pushing us closer to Bant Flash, and I really feel like these Bant colors probably end up sitting in a spot similar to Grixis or Blue Black, in that while you do have some controlling elements and interactive cards, I think in general, you probably want to be a little bit more proactive than what these decks are being, just because there's so many different things going on in the format that there's some games where you need to just kill them, as opposed to just trying to answer their things, because your answers just don't line up well enough. Why did I counter the Azcanta? Because Azcanta is how they generate card advantage. Is there a reason to not counter the Azcanta? Stopping them from generating card advantage in the control mirror is a really good idea. Tier 3 subs, you submit decks using the form on the website, just like everybody else that's lethal. Jowler.